subscribe to that channel and also share your comments.
All right, lots to get into. See how quickly we can run through this. Fisayo, what's your take on this app, this education app that Facebook is testing for Nigeria called Sabee? What are they trying to achieve here?
I mean, it's simple. I guess it's just you know, if you have a community of people, what other services can you lay on top of that, right? So I think it's just that there's nothing serious to it. I mean, if you have 10 million people using your application every day, you're wondering, asking yourself, okay, what other thing can they do within the app? So for them, it's about providing more value for their customers or for the users on the platform, right? To be able to learn a few things here and there, and then of course maybe tell some impact story around Africa and how they're educating the future of that. So I think that's all to it. I don't see any other major reason for Facebook to do that. It's just common sense, I guess.
Any hurdles as far as cost of smartphones, internet access? Any hurdles to disseminating education through these apps?
I mean, currently people use Facebook with their smartphones or with their computers, right? So it's the same behavior, right? They watch videos on Facebook, they watch pictures, they listen to audios, they listen to skits, right? There are short skits, there are longer skits, there are just different things that they do. So this is just an additional level to it. So there's really I don't think there is a major hurdle because it's the same behavior. Only that this time around, the content you're getting is more educational content rather than just one funny comedian and making you laugh and counting views.
Well, that's good content.
Quickly, when we compare book drives, we've seen people use book drives to different underprivileged parts of society, children who can't have access to education. Can you are those still important, or will education apps be the future of scaling education across a country this large?
I don't think so. I think educational apps would do their work, but when it comes to scaling education, I think it is still largely offline, especially for maybe primary, secondary type education. It's still largely offline. Even to a large extent, tertiary and adult education, everything's still largely offline, right? So apps will help people that are to a large extent more privileged, right? That have some supervision, that have that understands the value of education in the first place, right? Those are the people that will benefit a lot more from mobile apps and all of that, right? So, but to say that mobile apps would replace books or book drives in a short time, I don't see that happening in a very short time. Until I don't know. I think it's longer than even looking at developed countries, right? The Germany, the UK, I mean US is both developed and rural together, right? We can see that the offline education is still the dominant player. So I don't see Nigeria supplanting or overtaking the US or the UK or Germany in digitalizing education, to the most rural parts just yet, So I don't see that happening.
Cool stuff. Thank you. I want to quickly get to LinkedIn. LinkedIn denied that there was a data breach that reportedly affected about 700 million users. What do you make of what's happening with the LinkedIn situation?
If you admit data breach, right, it's a
then it's a data breach. It could hurt your business.
It will hurt your business, right? Mm-hmm. So people typically would deny data breaches, even if there are data breaches, right? Even Facebook that admitted data breaches a few times admitted them like 10 years afterwards, not like when it happened, right? So this was alleged to have happened, 2020 or 2021. So LinkedIn will, to a large extent deny it vehemently, irrespective of what anybody says about it. So that I think is what is happening. And then of course the semantics around it's data breach, not data scraping, not data breach. I mean, it's just English as far as I'm concerned, right? Their own argument was simple, that the data that were provided are data that you would see on LinkedIn anyway. So for instance, things around their phone numbers, email addresses, pictures, that data that you will see on LinkedIn. So you don't need to breach, what's it called? LinkedIn to see those information, right? So I guess that for 700 million people, they built some, API that ensures that this data can be compiled, in a easily digestible form, and then the data can be sold. So I think that's where the argument around breach or scraping, really is.
Fantastic. What's the takeaway? Is cybercrime still an issue, a prevalent issue?
I mean, in a more digital world, cybercrime becomes prevalent. So I remember back in the days, right, when I was growing up, armed robbers will come to your house because they think that they can steal cash from your house, right? We've seen less of those kind of break-ins now, right? So if anything happens, it's because people are not having cash at home again. People are not having highway robberies, as prevalent as it used to be then in the East, where people will go take cash from the East and come to Lagos to buy, and then take cash, so cash movement was prevalent then. And that's why you see, armed robberies on highway, because people know that, some people are taking cash to somewhere to go and buy stuff, right? But now, those things don't necessarily happen again. So it means that the movement of value of cash has been more digitalized. So it means that for the bad actors, right, they have to move alongside the trend, right, and then be able to do exactly the same thing by breaching digital security that people had built around digital economy to a large extent. So for me, I think that's what. So the more digital breaches continue to happen, the more cybersecurity continues to be at the forefront of the conversations. I remember saying something around how easily your password can be broken. It's a combination of both numbers and letters and alpha and non-numeric type things, right? And then the length of the password, all of those kind of things. They're just things around, okay, how to be safer online, how to not use a single password for all of your apps, how to not trigger. So they're just different security tips that you have to keep, because the bad actors are always there. So that for me so cybersecurity is an important part of our future as we continue to grow. It's not just about LinkedIn, it's about your bank apps, it's about payments, it's about just everything you do.
Great stuff. Val, before we get to messages, quickly, this is our last topic. We're doing very well on time. Fisayo, if you can, in 2 or 3 minutes, Ghana has begun a digital census. Can you take us through what they're doing there with their digital census?
I mean, there's nothing digital about. I mean, it's 2021, right? You don't expect me to be carrying paper and biro to be counting people. So I don't understand why this is this word in the first place, right? They're using apps that they'll come to your house. They'll say they'll come to your house, apps, but they'll feel it, digitally on an app, and they're using satellite imagery. Well, so what should you use in 2021? I mean, I don't know. Should it be paper and pen that you be going around with? I don't understand, So
where do you live? In Los Angeles? Are you not in Nigeria?
Yeah, but I mean, it's 2021. So if you're doing census, I don't expect it to be paper and biro today, right? So Well, yeah, first digital census in West Africa. No, great state, and it's what it is. And they're using art and satellite imagery. So please, there's nothing there.
You know what I noticed, right? I feel like Ghana is on a mission to rebrand
They
themselves.
passed us, Joe. Ghana has passed us.
Wait, hang
South
on,
Africa.
Rotus.
South Africa too is doing their own. South Africa did a test in August.
But they're using good whatever strategies to push Ghana forward. Yes, very good packaging. I mean, US, if we can copy stuff, right? We can copy policies. Why don't we copy branding packaging? Like Rotus has mentioned.
Ghana.
Yeah, yesterday, didn't you just talk about the Toyota's citing a factory in Ghana and the
assembly plants? Ghana has passed us, man.
I don't know why Rotus is laughing so hard. But
no, Fisayo is killing me. Fisayo is
I like that. Well, let's take messages. 0809-444-0981 for WhatsApp messages. We have this one from Modupe. Modupe says LinkedIn, or is it Microsoft, needs to do more about data protection. Yes, it's data you can see. If you have a LinkedIn account, you shouldn't be able to access it by scraping the data remotely. I've seen my entire LinkedIn profile on websites I never registered on before. They are now asking you to claim your profile. My entire work and life history is alarming, please. Thank you, Modupe. Mrs. A, thank you for that message, Mrs. A. We see you. Thank you so much, Rotus.
Look, I mean, at this point, I'm just still on the census matter. South Africa did a trial in August, September. So they are also, we're still, it's crazy. I mean, how many Nigerians are there? How many? What?
We don't know, right? I mean, we don't know. That's the truth, right? So we just pick numbers out of thin hair, right? The last census was during President Obasanjo's time. That was between 1999 and 2007, I guess, or 2007, right? Ghana claimed that their last census was 2010, and then census should be done every 10 years, right? That's the World Bank. I mean, the UN type prescription, right? So they are trying to do another one, 2021, because of course last year was a COVID year, so makes sense. But here in Nigeria, I think the thing around our population has been politicized so much that the National Population Commission has to has to be led by someone from a certain region, because there are arguments around what real numbers of people really are, because once we know some of these numbers, all the things that we see will be questioned a lot more. So for instance, people have been talking about Kano being the largest population, the largest state by population in Nigeria, right? But if Kano is that populated, right, and it's also a neighboring town to Niger, and then the neighboring town in Niger is probably one of the smallest, least populated, places in Niger. I'm like, how can you have so much population in Kano and the least in the other, just your next door neighbor? So it's like saying you have so much population in Lekki and just Oniru is just totally empty.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense that happens. So when you do census, some of these errors or omissions or outright lies, will be exposed. So there's no point doing any census. Just be growing our population by 3% every year and hope everything is fine.
Vibes and inshallah. Thank you so much. Fisayo, thank you. Wonderful conversation this morning as always. If you missed any part of the conversation, as I usually say, please go refer to YouTube.